Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Are you ready, my fellow XRP holders, for the greatest wealth transfer in the history of mankind? We we are approaching the time where this is actually going to happen. I firmly believe in this particular concept. It's the idea of where money will flow as new generations, younger generations, I should say, ultimately age. How are they going to treat with money itself, assets that they perceive to have value? How are they going to allocate funds for just for retirement? For building a fortune over time. And with the advent of the cryptocurrency asset class, it's changed everything. And it's just so fascinating to sit here in 2021. You're talking about, as I record this, the market cap for the crypto asset class, it's minuscule. It is $1,458,000,000,000. And that's very close to its all-time high. I saw, I don't know for sure how high the market cap for the asset class got, but very recently got to 1.7 or 1.8 trillion, somewhere thereabout. That's nothing. You're talking about, even just look at precious metals. Gold got up to 9 or 10 trillion recently. And its price doesn't exactly move that a whole lot, that typically anyway. So it's just think, I don't know if you guys fully appreciate just how lucky you are to be aware of this asset class at this time and to have this opportunity to invest when almost no money is in the asset class. Because the fact that this asset class is so illiquid is what presents the opportunity. It means that not much money has to flow in to get this tremendous multiplier effect. Just imagine if there's a $20 bill on the table, any Joe Schmo could walk on by, throw down another $20 bill, and then the market cap on that table, if you just bear with me for the stupid analogy, it just doubled. And all it took was $20. You look at a market cap like XRP's, which as I record, this is 21 billion. How much money has to flow in to double that? Well, not much. Bitcoin's at 905 billion as I record this. How much money has to flow in to double that? Well, a lot more than it would take to double XRP, but still not that much. And it's just amazing to me that I got to be here during a time where, during the bear market, after the last parabolic run up, there's the bear market, and the market cap got down to, I remember seeing it somewhere, I don't know if this is the absolute low, but somewhere in the neighborhood of like $170 billion. Like, what a special time, because this is a once in a species event. And so money is going to continue to flow into this. And younger people are going to treat money differently. And so the idea of this art, here's the article from the Daily Huddle: $37 trillion wealth transfer set to boost Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, says Morgan Creek Digital's Mark Yusko. And so I want to run through this concept with you. And I also do want to be clear, I don't have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice. And so you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast, and I enjoy making YouTube videos purely as a hobby. And so the co-founder of cryptocurrency hedge fund Morgan Creek Digital, Mark Yusko, says millennials will forever change the financial landscape after inheriting trillions of dollars from their parents. In a new interview with podcaster and analyst Preston Tsai, Yusko cites data from Deloitte that shows $37 trillion is set to be passed down to millennials, who are avid adopters of digital technologies and currencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum. And here's a quote: "My generation is going to transfer $37 trillion to millennials. $37 trillion. And it isn't going to be invested in IBM stock. It isn't going to be invested in government bonds. It isn't going to be invested in even Tesla. It's going to be invested in DeFi. It's going to be invested in Bitcoin. It's going to be invested in Ethereum. It's going to be the greatest wealth creation we've ever seen in the world." And so those cryptocurrencies that are going to have true staying power, and I think XRP has a very good shot at being among them, so long as it continues to solve a real world problem, because that represents utility. Because my whole investment thesis, long term anyway, is that utility matters and will win the day. In the short term, people really don't give a flip about utility. Like this market cycle, it's just stupid money coming in, pumping up coins, and I think that every large and mid cap coin is going to pump and go parabolic at some point, just like last market cycle. Not financial advice, that's just what I suspect will be the case. And so given that's the case, though, if you really think truly long term, people are not going to be continually acting this stupid. Eventually, people will figure out what cryptocurrencies deserve to have money flow into them at all. And with XRP solving a real world problem, as long as it continues to, my gosh, can you imagine as this greatest wealth transfer happens, what XRP could be worth in the coming decades? I don't know. I don't make price predictions, but suffice it to say, substantially more than it is today. If you're talking, because look, we already know, because, and I said this too before this even happened over the last couple of years, I say, don't be surprised if individual cryptocurrencies have trillion-dollar market caps on their own or multi-trillion-dollar market caps on their own. Bitcoin recently did finally hit $1 trillion. Well, if XRP's here in a few decades, that means that it's actually solving a real-world problem. Do you think it's going to be worth $21 billion? Or would it be worth trillions, just like Bitcoin was very recent? I think Bitcoin will fly past that too. It'll be a multi-trillion-dollar asset. What do you think is going to happen? And so Yusko says the differences between the new generation and their parents are stark. By and large, he says the older generation will continue to use traditional brokers like Merrill Lynch, Own Gold, and view Bitcoin with skepticism. Meanwhile, millennials are on an entirely different page, says Yusko, setting the stage for a wave of crypto asset adoption and a generational shift away from precious metals. And here's another quote. Check this out. Ask anyone under 35, who's your broker? They'll say, what do you mean? I got Robinhood. Ask them, how much gold do you have? They'll say, are you kidding me? The pet rock? Are you kidding me? Ask them, how much Bitcoin do you have? They'll say, I don't want to talk about it. Why not? Because it's a really big percentage of my net worth. So that divide is going to get exacerbated. Exactly. That's where the younger generation continues to increasingly put money. And it's interesting that as far as XRP goes, and I haven't mentioned this in a while, but if you want a little inside baseball, YouTube tracks not personal data. Like they don't present personal data to YouTubers like myself, but they do collect demographic information. And so I can tell you that about a third of people that watch the Moon Lambo channel are my age or older. And so I'm 37. I think the way the bracket started, I think it starts at age 35. I'd have to go look, but it's actually interesting how many people that are my age or older into the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and so on are really into XRP. So I don't know if that would be the same demographic for Bitcoin, but just with my channel being XRP centric, it's fascinating to see that. So happy to share the inside baseball information, but I was a little surprised when I started the channel. I was suspecting that perhaps I might be at the elder end. It turns out I'm somewhere like in the middle. I don't know. It's my age and older mostly that, or not mostly, that'd be the wrong word, but that'd be the biggest piece of the pie if you looked at the demographics on a pie chart, which is kind of interesting, right? But as far as just crypto in general, I mean, if it is the case that it's different for Bitcoin and most of the other cryptocurrencies are attracting a younger audience, maybe that is the case. I don't know for sure. But either way, I do think that money's going to be treated differently here. And you can see here was a piece from Kraken. They were talking about the same topic. This was from March 26, 2020. So this one's older, whereas the first piece that I just ran through, it's brand new, February 23rd. But they were kind of talking about the same topic here. Kraken predicts wealth transfer will cause Bitcoin to rise to 350,000 by 2045. Now, the concept makes sense to me. As far as Bitcoin getting to that price, I'd be surprised if Bitcoin's truly going to have long-term viability. I'd be surprised if it took anywhere near that long to get to $350,000 here. But it's the same topic. Millennials and Generation Xers in the United States currently practicing sheltering in place and social distancing may find some solace that, in addition to saving lives, they may stand to inherit almost $70 trillion from baby boomers in the years to come. Kraken Intelligence, the in-house research team at the crypto exchange of the same name, released a new report entitled Inheriting USDs and Acquiring Bitcoins: How the Great Wealth Transfer Will Fuel the Great Bitcoin Adoption. According to the report, if American millennials were to invest at least 5% of their inherited wealth into Bitcoin, they could drive the price up to $350,000 in 2044. This would effectively give the generational group almost $70 trillion of value from a $971 billion investment. And they got a little chart here. I want to go through the whole thing here. I just want to share with you the idea that we are supremely early to the party, and that's why there's a tremendous opportunity for this multiplier effect. And this really is a once in a species event. You can't create the crypto asset class twice, unless you're talking about some sort of devastating thing happening to mankind, and we have to like go back to caveman days and then rise back, and then it would be a twice in a species thing. But outside of something like that, this is a once in a species thing, and here we are. Living through this at the advent of all of this, and it's such super early days here, and it's just astonishing to me. And so holding XRP now, can you imagine if indeed it retains utility in the coming decades? What is that going to look like in the future? I don't know, but I'm going to be along here for the ride. This absolutely, what we're going to experience in the coming decades, the greatest wealth transfer in the history of mankind. And, even outside the fact that you're just talking about that generational shift, it's not just that it's shifting from one generation to the next. Again, it's the key part here is that the crypto asset class now exists. And to get this multiplier effect, man, I'm telling you, it doesn't take much. That's why the early Bitcoiners experienced, if you were to hold from the earliest of days in Bitcoin, you're talking about millions and millions of percentage gains by now. And it's nuts, but that's real life. So here we are. But I'll go ahead and wrap up there. Thank you for stopping by, my friends. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.